We're on Frank.
And I'm Abby.
And together,
We are Frabby Farm.
we're on Frank.
Yeah, no, we have some fun stuff. We got some exciting news, but I'll wait to get everybody so that they're not missing,
Do we want to do an MS update or do we want
Yeah, you can start with that because there's been a lot going on.
Small update. So today at like 7 a.m. we went to go get Abby a checkup with her, neuro-optometrist. So this is referenced by her neurologist, who's an MS specialist. So we went
because we went from the ophthalmologist that found the MS at the beginning to what is it?
Neuro-optometrist.
Oh my God.
So we were headed to that, but us being us, we decided to stop and check out some local food. So what was the name of the bakery?
It's a German one, but I don't remember.
Starts with
it's
the W.
With the W. It's okay.
But we stopped by.
I just posted it on our stories, so.
Yes. We stopped by an old German bakery, got some nice German treats, and then went to our appointment there. And they did like 2 hours of testing on Abby, and actually some good news on that front. No optic neuritis. So part of MS, as we've talked about before, causes what's called demyelinating lesions. Basically, Abby's immune system is attacking the insulation around her nerve bundles. So you have like the nerves that are like an electrical cord, the insulation that's around them. Her white blood cells are stripping that insulation off, and everything's short-circuiting. Mm-hmm. That's getting better.
I'm paying attention. I'm trying to get besties on here.
So that's getting better, which is absolutely great. And one thing we were worried about is that she had optic neuritis, which is where one of those lesions is actually on the nerve connecting her eyeball to her brain, because she was having some vision issues, and it was a little unclear on the MRI exactly what was going on. I gotta pull my dog up. He's crying. Come here, Ralph. He wants to be. Yep. He wants to be a part of things.
Oh my God, no, I can't. You can't be on here.
He wants to step on everyone. So they were able to do some tests today and determine that she does not have any lesions on her optic nerve, which is really good. She does still have some of the peripheral vision blindness, but it's actually gotten better since September, which is good. It means the medicine is working. She does still have some issues with like muscular control of her eyes. So like if she's trying to look at something, instead of like smoothly tracking, her eyes will kind of bounce around trying to track it, and that leads to some like dizziness and difficulty walking and that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. So we still have difficulties, but things are improving. Mm-hmm. Things are getting better, and we at least got a little bit of good news on that front.
Yeah, because I mean, it is good news because it's killing all the things that they thought, like when they thought it was a brain tumor. Yeah. At the very beginning of this journey or whatever. It's
that was like the very, very preliminary diagnosis that our ophthalmologist, different person, gave
Shout
us.
Shout out to Dr. Little.
That she gave us was, she basically did a test and was like, hey, I'm at the end of my diagnostic reach here. This is out of my wheelhouse. You need to go to the ER because from what I'm seeing, you could have MS or a brain tumor. Basically, there's no good things that are happening here, so go to the hospital. And that was definitely a good call on her part.
Yeah.
But yeah, garden updates.
Yeah.
I got a lot of poop.
I hate you so much.
I'm not going to elaborate on that.
No.
So as
we
always,
made best friends picking up poop though.
Yeah, as always, Abby's making friends and I'm shoveling poop. Story of our lives. So. We went and I checked out Facebook Marketplace, found some free horse manure. Horse manure is absolutely great for garden beds, especially this stuff because it's been aged about 6 months. Most of it's about 6 months old, so it's not as hot as when it is fresh.
Imagine knowing the world
Horse
how it
poop
is.
is like wine. You got to age it
No,
before you drink it.
No, honestly, knowing how people are nowadays, like somebody actually checked the temperature for horse poop. Like,
But what I'm planning on doing with the horse poop is mixing it with some wood chips and other filler material because I have like 2 feet of raised garden bed, right? Most of my crops are going to grow in the top like 10 inches or so. So I want a couple inches of mulch. I have 24 inches total. So I want like 4 inches of mulch because we're in Colorado. Everything's super dry. And we want to hold on to as much water as possible. So like this much mulch, this much actual soil, and then we have this much like filler space in the bottom that we want to turn into good soil eventually, but we don't need to waste money and time filling it with really good soil right now. And by filling it with horse manure, we're hoping that it will compost very, very nicely in the bottom. And while it's composting, it'll put off a lot of heat. And if it's putting off not a lot of heat, but enough heat during these colder months, it'll keep our raised bed a little bit warmer, and our crops will grow a little bit happier. What?
well, you know how we're doing answering questions? The list that I have.
What?
It's right there.
What are you looking at?
It's right there. The list that I wrote.
Oh, there was
It's
some
on my
questions on your phone.
phone.
Well, we'll do that another time.
We'll figure out how to set up your phone because we got new phones.
This is why you need to share notes with me. Yeah, my phone's been on the fritz for a while.
Yeah.
And today it finally just died. I barely got it to work long enough to transfer stuff over, but we've been due for upgrades for a while. We just don't like paying a little extra in our monthly bill.
Yeah.
For that, but yeah, we upgraded to some new phones, unfortunately. But
I mean, we're
they are
millennials,
nicer.
so we don't like updating that fast.
Yeah.
We wait until literally we have to. Because
Yep.
he was asking, he's like, do you want to get updated? I was like, no, but knowing Apple, I'm going to have to in a year. So, anyways.
But hopefully now we have enough people on board, we can share the real news that we're really excited about. So as you know, we have chickens,
We have goose.
and chickens lay eggs. So
Oh, wait.
this is a typical chicken
Text
egg.
your mom and your
Oh.
dad.
text my mom and my dad. Okay.
Yeah, no. So goose, we haven't gotten a name because we didn't know if it was a female or a male.
Lucy Goosey.
No, we're still. No, your mom's suggestion for it was really cute. It's Gigi. And I was like,
Oh, that is cute.
that is really cute for guard goose because we literally, or like we say goose a lot, and that literally makes a lot more sense. But yeah, Gigi is a cute one for our guard goose. She's adorable.
Yep.
She has learned that we now have a little pail. It's not a 5-gallon bucket.
It's a 2-gallon bucket.
Yeah, I fell in love with it last year when I saw it, and I was like, no, I need that.
Oh,
So
pro tip for all the farmers out there: 5-gallon buckets from Ace Hardware are just built different.
yeah,
I used to break 5-gallon buckets like at least one a month, and the ones from
Ace.
Ace Hardware last me years, and I do not treat them very well.
yeah, literally. But yeah, so my little 5-gallon bucket, 2.5-gallon bucket, she took exactly 2.5 hours to figure out that was the magic. Well, it was like 20 seconds to figure out that was the magic worm bucket at this point.
That was the source of all treats.
Yeah. So as soon as I open the back door or whatever, everybody comes running, and she immediately panics and wants the bucket. And she's taller than the chickens,
So she can get into the bucket easier.
yeah. So it's fun feeding her treats and stuff like that. So I guess the treats really did set us up for her little body.
Set us up for success.
Yeah, her little body got ready. Anyways,
So-
our chicken eggs.
So our chickens have been laying. It's been getting a little bit warmer. So our chickens have been laying. This is one. We have a couple. I think we have two or three leghorns. I think one of them's mixed, but is mostly leghorn. So this is a standard chicken egg.
I might have you hold them because it's kind of shaky for me.
So this is a standard chicken egg. It comes from a chicken's butt. We eat them. They're delicious. And we have 9 chickens, and right now with the colder weather, we're not as productive, but we get 4 to 6 eggs a day.
Yeah, we're still doing pretty good.
Which is still pretty good.
There's
Keeps us and a
also-
couple of the neighbors in eggs especially with all these egg shortages.
Yeah, there's 2 chickens that have not started laying.
Yeah.
So I still hope she's not actually a rooster like the last one. So hopefully, I'm praying that she's a girl.
But today, we went out and I found some extra eggs. And they look like this. As you can tell, there's a slight difference.
Yeah, the chicken.
These might kill a chicken if they came out of it.
Literally.
So I was wondering what was up because last night when I went to go put the goose up, she had already put herself up. And we've been having a really bad windstorm around here. It's finally calming down tonight.
So
we thought she had just gotten scared and put herself away. But she was in one of the egg hutches she had kind of tucked herself in there. And I found this egg in there today, and we even found another one. So she's been doing this for at least a couple of days. We got goose eggs. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Usually the first couple eggs actually come out weird, and these came out really, really nice and symmetrical and stuff like that. So I'm kind of excited to crack them open and see if they actually have a yolk. But I kind of want to do some baking or something with them because they're supposed to be.
Well, just some research on Pinterest. I'm showing Frank how to love Pinterest. It's literally not.
I've never had a Pinterest.
It's great.
I just asked her if they had gold painting stuff on Pinterest. That's what'll get me into it.
No, literally.
So yeah, so that is our big exciting news is we got big exciting eggs.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we got 2. Did you show them 2?
Yeah, I showed them both.
Oh, yeah. One of them is bigger than the other.
Yeah, one of them is bigger than the other, so I have a feeling that
Wait.
Hold on. This is going to be great. So
wait, we'll put this down here because it doesn't need to be up here anymore.
Yeah. Leave the cloth up here because otherwise they'll roll off.
Oh.
That way we have a little bit of friction on the table.
MS hands, I'm working on it.
You got this.
No.
Comment if you saw that one coming.
That's why I said MS brain. Now we have to open it. We'll go get a bowl so we can open it.
So hold on. Hold this in your hand. Hold this in my hand. And they look the same.
Oh, I'm so sad. I knew that was coming, and I was like, MS brain.
I did too, but I want to empower you. And I don't want to be like, oh, you can't handle that. You have MS. I want to.
Girl power.
Yeah. I want you to be doing things and trying things. And that time it didn't work out. And that's okay because she's going to lay a lot more eggs. But yeah,
Did we get chickens or rabbits first?
Oh, we got rabbits first. By a long shot, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So since it's already cracked.
We don't have a glass. Wait, don't we have a glass bowl? The little glass bowl. We can do that so they can see. So we can see.
Like the big one? We have a big one.
It's
Ralph,
precious.
you're tripping my legs up, man.
My precious. Anyways, so yeah, no, we've been getting and compiling, and I've been sharing or saving a bunch of the questions that we have had over the journey. And my MS brain, as it's healing, yeah, that works. My MS brain, as it's healing, is understanding how our social media platforms and stuff like that can't can't be just used for us, that we can use it to share the information we've learned. So the big one is rabbits. So I have the list of rabbit questions, unfortunately, on my phone, but there's a lot of them that actually do. I have them memorized because we had hundreds of this question over the time that I've been posting the information on them. You can crack that while I'm talking.
I thought it was going to be a moment.
Oh, sorry. I'll give you your moment.
I think I'm just going to try to use this crack and just pop the end.
We're centered, right? It's huge! Wait, okay, go get another one.
Another what?
Another bowl like that so we can put
Wow, this shell is thick. I'm surprised you even were able to crack it.
Oh, I don't. Well.
Feel how thick the
Oh, no, that's
shell is.
awesome. Oh, wait, bring that closer to the camera so they can see what it looks like. Oh, and the yolk.
So,
and the
this
yolk.
is oh, yeah. Did I pour the rest in there? Is that going to come out? No. Oh, it's going to come halfway out. I'm just going to have to wash my hands. It's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hold on, let me see if it focused. Yeah.
No, you have to. You do it on the mic? Because that's where they hear it.
Oh, yeah.
Is the mics. I'm teaching them how to be a YouTuber.
Bentley.
Okay. I was talking while you said that. It's fine. Get another bowl like that so that we can put a regular egg one right next to it.
Okay.
Anyways, we've had a lot of questions, so I at least luckily have a few of them memorized because there's been so many questions. The rabbits definitely brought in a lot of our best friends online, and you guys have been following it.
Where's there glitter in this bowl?
Why is there glitter in any bowl in this house? It's because glitter is goals.
So we have goose.
Goose. This is just a straight science, a science episode. Forget the Talking Tuesday. It's just a science episode.
So, let me see.
I was going to say you should be able to pull it.
So we have goose versus chicken. Yeah, buddy.
Hers is way oranger.
Yeah, that's
She's eating the same thing, so well, kind of. Not really, though. I won't drop this one because it's in my left hand, which has more control. Yeah,
Anyway.
So the one we cracked was way bigger than this one.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Now we got to figure out what to make with those.
Pinterest.
Okay.
It's not Bentley.
Anyway, rabbit.
It's not Bentley. It's Pinterest.
Anyway, rabbit questions.
Okay, so we'll start with the hard one that everybody asks. Is one of the biggest ones is obviously factory farming is one of the biggest ones that's a worry for everybody with our chickens and our rabbits. I don't know how to factory farm koi fish. Koi fish, that's a totally different game. Anyways, but yeah, so that's been a big issue. So we'll try to focus this episode on
This one right now?
Yeah.
We've already been going 20 minutes.
No, I know, but we'll try to focus a little bit of the content on rabbits. There's literally 3 major questions that everybody asks. So the big one is how factory farming is not what we're doing with the rabbits, and how it's more ethical to raise them, how we're raising them. So it's a 3-part question that they're attached to each other. And then...
that wasn't a question, that was a statement.
Oh, sorry. But pretty much it rose up to a lot of comments and questions of it's more questions that attack us. Anyways, did you catch it at the beginning? It wasn't a statement. It's it's how are raising rabbits like you do, not factory farming, and how is it ethical? So technically you can
Right. So the way rabbits are raised in factory settings is not really great, especially because they fall into kind of a weird in between of pet and agricultural animals. So they don't have the same rights as agricultural animals, and they don't have the same protections as pets.
Yeah, and every country is different when it comes to
a lot of countries have different laws, but in the U.S., there's kind of a weird gray zone there, so they don't necessarily get the best treatments. A lot of rabbits are raised in just giant warehouses, basically. They're raised on wire. They never they have hay in there, but they never touch Ralph. But they never actually touch grass other than their hay feeders. And
which that's how we started, and it is efficient.
We started with wires because
it keeps them.
It starts because it does keep them safe. It keeps them
it keeps everything
disease-free.
clean and all that.
Yeah, and it's easier to wash out and stuff like that.
I personally was the one that kept going off and bringing it up to him. That I was I don't want to do it like this. I don't want to. Rabbits are very fertile, but at the same time, I'm I just want to raise enough for us to have in our fridge because he likes rabbit a lot. And what we had been doing is Abby. We were buying rabbits and hunting rabbits, and we were getting it that way.
And I am not a good hunter.
So at that point, I was like, what are you doing? At that point, I was like, well, at this point, like, how can we do it? So that's where he brought in rabbits, and that would have been in 2016 when we started doing that. 2015?
Something like
that we would have started raising rabbits at my mom's house when we were at their house.
Well, that would have been like 2018.
Yeah, and we started off with that, but it was interesting, and I was like, okay, cool. The moment we got this house, I told him, I was like, we brought the cages over here. They were very clean. They had mats to like help their little paws and stuff like that. They always have like a bunch of different mats you can use that you can tie into those environments so that it doesn't hurt their little
enrichment.
Yeah, so it doesn't hurt their little paws and stuff like that. But when we got to this house, I was like, I will dedicate whatever area that we're going to use for rabbits specifically for like a mansion for them. Mm-hmm. And we did. Yeah,
and we built they're 8x4 hutches, 8 foot by 4 foot, which like the standard rabbit cage is like a big rabbit cage is like 2 foot by 3 foot.
Yeah.
So we wanted to like double or more those dimensions. And also what we did is we dug down about 2 feet, dug it all out, lined it all with like hardware cloth, and then it's just sniffing the microphone.
They're gonna hear it.
And then filled it back in. And what that allows the rabbits to do is it essentially gives them a 8x4 area on top. So what's that, 32 square feet? Yeah. 32 square feet on top to run around and play in and stuff like that. And we would put stuff in like boxes and tunnels and other enrichment stuff. But then they also have an area that they can dig down to. So they have like an 8x4, 32 square feet below them for like a total of 64 square feet. Half of it's just for running and playing, and half of it's for digging and tunneling. And oh boy, do they like to dig tunnels.
Oh my God. No, well, that was the big thing. Is it never happened with the Dutch rabbits. They never broke out. They were like, yeah, we're happy in this little environment. And they would build out their little path or whatever. Then they would destroy it and put the dirt down and then do it again and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sid is a totally different breed, literally.
Our silver foxes, I think because they're bigger, they're able to do some damage to the chicken. And plus the chicken wire's been down there for a few years, or the hardware cloth rather, has been down there for a few years. Yeah. And I think some of it started to rust away in spots. In the future, I want to kind of line it with maybe like concrete or paver stones or something like that.
Yeah, we're working on upgrading what we're doing with it.
That'll be a future video, but we're...
more on this later.
I've literally seen them just grab the wire with their teeth and just yank like staples out and everything. Like, they're strong.
They're very strong. So Matilda, that was the big thing, is Matilda was doing it too. But like, she's been able to get pregnant, but she hasn't been able to keep the babies. Like, she hasn't actually...
we've had some difficulty with that.
With her getting pregnant. And I think it was a little bit of the fear of the way that like things could be going in and out.
Yeah.
And like, it made her feel not so safe.
Because we used... Our primary goal was at first just to keep the rabbits in, which meant we used like a 1-inch hardware cloth because it was cheaper per foot or whatever.
But because the silver foxes are cutting through that wire and going out now.
Well, the 1-inch hardware cloth is plenty enough for mice to sneak in.
Yeah. That's true.
Just like how you wouldn't, like, if you're in your bedroom and you can just hear the little of mice like scurrying around in your room all night.
It doesn't seem like she liked it.
Rabbits don't either. So this is something that, years later we're still learning how to do the in-ground systems, and that's the other reason we want to go to a solid system that mice will always penetrate everywhere, but we want that to be as impervious as possible. We want to make it as difficult as possible for mice to get in there.
Yeah. So
we feel like
we upgraded the brooders, the rabbit hutches, and we're currently testing it out with Matilda, because she digs, but not like Sid. So we did put wire on the bottom again. She's still like on the ground, so she has dirt right underneath her. We'll be tossing a bunch of grass, and I'll be growing grass so that I can put it in there and stuff her, and trying to figure out how to seed the grass. And we're working on that. But yeah, so we're testing it out to see if we can get her.
We got ideas, man.
We're testing her out to figure out how to make her feel safe to get pregnant. And I was like, that kind of lines up with something else we're trying to do.
I wonder what. Anyway.
Get someone else safe to get pregnant. But yeah, so there's that one. And then the ethical. How is eating rabbit meat and killing them for meat ethical?
Mm-hmm. I mean,
that one came from a lovely
if you're
follower that's very much a PETA fan.
I mean, if you're if you're a hardcore vegan, like I'm never going to convince you that eating any meat is ethical. You know, your our worldviews are just so different in that regard, and that's fine. And I do understand some of the arguments for animal rights and that sort of thing. I understand them intellectually, even if I don't agree with them. But at the same time, if it is ethical, Ralph, what are you doing? He's slowly sliding. I mean, we could talk for hours. I'm trying to figure out how to really boil this down to like a key issue, because we could talk for hours on the different animal rights and things like that. You okay?
Yeah, I'm just fine with it real quick.
Okay. I mean, the main thing is that we don't want animals to be living in suffering, right? And you can make the argument like, well, if you think animal suffering is wrong, then you should never kill them. And the fact of the matter is that humans need meat to survive. There's tons and tons and tons of vegans out there who are very, very unhealthy, not doing very well, are severely lacking in certain nutrients and stuff like that. And the only way that you can possibly make that work is by taking a lot of very unnatural supplements, getting frequent blood tests and medical procedures to make sure you're not deficient in certain areas. And even then, there's some health concerns and risks and stuff like that with like purely plant-based diets. Humans have eaten meat for all of human history. There's a long set precedent, and I mean, fair enough. Just because something's been a precedent, something's been around for a long time, doesn't mean we should keep doing it. But when it seems like it's something that's so vital to human health, it seems very, very. I don't see a good way around eating meat. So, if that is true, and that's a theory. That's my theory. Is that
we could get to a point that we're eating the fake meat that's made out of bugs and stuff like that, and then have a utopia that we're getting a bunch of stuff that we're growing in labs to feed us, and very Wall-E-esque, if you ask me.
Check out the Wall-E theory about how the milkshakes are actually people.
Anyways, so they'll figure it out to do that, but at the same time, like, why not follow the history that humanity has literally set down for us on how to survive in the world?
And if we are going to do that, if we are going to eat animals, I do believe that it should be done in a
very ethical manner.
Yeah, a more ethical way. And if your baseline for ethics is you're not allowed to kill animals, then you'll never agree that our approach is ethical. But I think we can both agree
then at that point, like,
that it's more ethical than CAFOs, than factory farming.
Well, I mean, the meat that's the new, I don't even know what it's called, but I know what it is. It's the meat made from, the meat that's made from.
I bit my lip.
The meat that's made from bugs, because they have feelings too. So like, how deep are we diving into who you can hurt and who you can't? Like, it's gonna happen all the sort of way. But that very gently taps into things like IVF. We've gotten that suggestion a lot, and it's like, okay, at what point does that embryo end up becoming a human, and where do they get to?
That came out of left field.
No, well, it literally.
It's like we're talking about rabbits, so IVF.
No. Well, yeah, But I'm saying like it's the same thing with the vegans, and the vegans we haven't met are not like that. They're not like that dead set. They're actually very lovely.
Almost, I think all of the vegans that I've met on the internet are horrible.
Yeah,
but
that's
but
true.
like those, I'm not even convinced that they're real people on the internet. But
They are.
every single vegan that we've met in person at the farmers market
lovely.
is actually huge fans of what we're doing. And like
Yeah.
there's been at least two different people that have told us that, you know, if when I was considering veganism, like if all animals were raised the way you raised yours, I would not have gone vegan.
Yeah.
So I feel like veganism and like the PETA-esque version of veganism is sort of like an overreaction to factory farming.
Yeah.
Which,
I mean, it's not an overreaction. It's a very, very justifiable reaction because it is not okay. It is not good
to raise animals.
To raise animals that way. Like, it is so sad. Like, at this point, like that video I saw earlier today that was like, oh, the chickens get raised and they live 6 weeks. I'm like, I know those are the fat white chickens. What are they? The
Cornish cross.
I was like, I know them and I've raised them enough at this point that literally that picture of you showing on your little video is not a 6-week-old chicken. That is like
a 4-week-old chicken.
That is for sure like a 4-week, like 1 month, if they're lucky, week-old chicken. Because I was like, I've done it.
The Cornish crosses that we got by accident, we did not order them. They just sent us a batch by accident.
Because that's like the big one everybody does.
Yeah, so we ended up raising those, and we got ours to 8 weeks, and we had like 7 and 8 pound chickens.
Yeah, they were so huge.
After being cleaned out, like their hanging weight was 8 pounds.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you go to Costco and like, yeah, sure, some of it cooks off. I think you lose 20% or something like that.
Yeah.
Through like fat and liquid loss and all that. But even then, you go to Costco and you buy like a 2 or 3 pound like little rotisserie chicken, 4 pound even. That chicken was not more than 5 weeks old.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Back to rabbits.
Yeah. So if you're going to raise, our point is basically, if you're going to raise if you're going to eat animals for meat, you should do it in an ethical manner.
Yeah.
And those animals should have good lives and then one bad second right at the end.
Yeah. There's a lot of girls that I follow and follow me that do rabbits on the cage system, and they're lovely women that raise very, very healthy, very happy little rabbits.
And the thing is that not everyone has the space to do what we do.
No.
And like, to me, human lives take priority. So if you're trying to raise healthy meat for your family, and you're doing rabbits in a cage system because you have, you know, a little bit of garage space or you have a tiny backyard or something like that, and that's all you can do. That's all you can do. You're doing everything you can to support and help and grow your family in the healthiest way that you can. Like, that's great. Keep doing it.
Yeah.
But if you have the space, consider doing an in-ground system or a colony system or something like that.
Yep. And then the furs, that's the last question I've gotten so much of because I post it and it's subtle enough that they're like, oh, cool, what?
And it's like, wait a minute.
All the rabbits that we have raised, literally, because, I mean, we could probably count how many rabbits we've raised because I have all the furs and stuff like that.
Everything.
Right. I personally don't feel like it's respectful of that animal that has already gave his life for me to actually provide food. I'm like, I can't just be wasteful with that. So we learned to tan hides.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a fun
Our
project.
biggest waste product when we started with rabbits was the hides. And we were like, man,
no, it wasn't waste. They're there.
Yeah, well, we never wasted them because even from the beginning we were like, well, this is a potential waste product, but we don't want it to be waste. These are too pretty. They work too hard on these to just throw them away. And I know a lot of people do that, and like I totally understand. Again, if you're raising them in a small area and you don't want to be dealing with the chemicals and like laying out furs, and you got small kids that are going to be dunking their hands in buckets of guts and stuff. Like, okay, I get it. You don't want to do it. But even then, just freeze them.
Freeze them.
Yeah, but
literally,
if you can't do anything else with them, put salt on them, roll them up, stick them all in a bag, and then stick that bag in the freezer, and they won't go bad.
Yeah, a lot of our friends have saved them.
Whenever we got a friend that has like a whole chest freezer just full of them because she's been doing it for years.
And I'm telling her, I'm like, give them to me. I'll start tanning them and
Yeah, once it warms up a little bit, it's easier to do it outside.
I'll do it because I'm like that's a very high quality product that those cute little rabbits work so hard to make.
Yeah. But yeah, it's the rabbit hide tanning is labor intensive.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, if you can find somebody that can do it, or if you can sell them for a little bit of money so they don't go to waste, I think that's great.
The big thing is cultural. For a lot of our friends that have seen us, I go to the powwow every year. And I've been doing it since I was a child. Two of my best friends are Native Americans. And I literally learned so much from them, like the fact that they have different ceremonies and stuff like that when the daughters are coming to age and stuff. And like having the rabbit fur is actually something very special for them. And they really like it. So a lot of my rabbit furs are still being used to this day with my best friends that are holding on to it for their future daughters that are growing up currently, to get to the point of age where they need that. Yeah. And then there's a lot of other ones that I've had, like the people that, is it autism? The one girl that came up and saw, she didn't even, I wasn't selling anything for her that day. She came up and she touched the fur that I had on the table decorating, and she immediately, she's like, can I hold this? And I was like, yeah. And I started talking to her and I was like, actually, I might have something for you. And I ran back because I always have like a little stash of stuff that like is created and ready to go away as a gift. And I had one of my little the little fur, like little poof balls that you can put on a keychain. And I was like, do you want this? And I gave it to her. It made her life at that point. Like, it was the best thing because she's like, no, it literally calms me down when I'm touching the fur. And I was like, good. I was like, that's all I could do. And it's such a little piece of the fur, and it wasn't the only thing I made out of it. So I'm like, I can do much more with those little animals than just eat them once and then just enjoy them. Also, my family really likes the rabbits. Like, if we were to have customers, we have a few, and the few is enough to never have to become factory farmers because we're always sold out with rabbits. That one's it's sold out before it's even grown.
The rabbits that keep on giving.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good note to end on.
Yeah, I think that's everything. I think that's all the questions.
If you made it this far, thanks so much.
Thank you for watching.
You should like and subscribe.
Yeah. Yep, we'll see you on next week's Talking Tuesday. And
maybe we'll do a baking video with goose eggs.
Oh, next week during the Talking Tuesday? Well, then I'll see what...
We'll see what we got going on.
Whatever the questions were on the list.
Anyway,
well, we'll talk to you guys
so much
later.
For tuning in. Frebby Farm out.
You have to go click out.
Let's go, Ralph. Yep.
Oh, goodness.
Yep, I'm still trying to end it.
We'll get there one day.
Yep, I do not see the end button.
I don't know. Hi, guys. Who came for the end credits? Da, 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 da.
End stream.